Hi scholars, it's Angel and I just want to quickly give an update regarding my running. So I'm 2 weeks out from my first ultra. I've downgraded my mileage. First, my mileage was at 70 per week. I then went to 64 and I'm now at 59. Next week I will be doing 54 miles per week, and that is the goal for race week as well. So things that I've learned. First, I realized something that was occurring to me having ran throughout the very cold temperatures. I had, and no one explained this to me, I had put on a little bit of pudge, and it was hard to see because I'm a pretty small person, but I couldn't figure it out. It was like I was seriously bloated. Now that it's spring, I realized that I started sweating again. And one thing about me, I'm known as what is called a sweat runner, meaning that a salt runner, meaning that I actually sweat out my salt. And a lot of people say the cause is related to not having enough salt in your diet. So I always try to make sure I have enough salt. I drink Powerade and so forth. So I realized I started sweating, and automatically, without any effort, I lost the pudge. And I found out that it was because my body was going into starvation mode, because it was so cold and I was running so many miles at such a long period during the winter months. Some of those ultra runs, like I would run 25 miles one day with the group, and the next day we would run like 14 or 15. However, these are technical trail runs, and the distances were taking place in like the Appalachian Trail on Bear Mountain. So you're talking about 6-7 hours per day, and then going home, sleeping, getting back up, and then repeat for like 14-15 miles. So all those extremely cold temperatures, my body was trying to maintain heat. So I figured that out. So that was a side note, but that's interesting. I never even thought about something like that. But who knew? That's part of running. So I'm 2 weeks out for running. I've downgraded my mileage in hopes that I will recover some of the excess fatigue. But now I'm wondering, do I even need to? Because some of the fatigue was caused by my body trying to maintain core temperature. Now, this is the scary part, probably not for everyone. That is probably why my heart rate was becoming so low when I was sleeping. I was getting all these Apple alerts about my heart rate. But I mean, I had been to the doctor because of my sprained finger, and everything was fine, and besides I was getting up the next day fine. But I think the fatigue may have been related more to the cold weather and my body trying to maintain core temperature than actual mileage, which makes sense, although I had increased the mileage rapidly. And as previously stated, I generally try to go by the 80-20 rule and 12 weeks adaptation with mileage, and I had upgraded at least 6 to 8 miles in a 12-week period, and that includes elevation. And some of the elevation is what I call all runnable. And the difference between runnable miles in elevation and non-runnable is how technical the trail is. For technical trails, you're actually climbing some of your elevation. However, with runnable elevation, it means that there is no climb. You're literally running all of those hills and the elevation depicted in Strava and Map My Run and so forth. So 2 weeks out, I'm feeling better. I feel confident, but I'm still fatigued. Honestly, I would say last week I was at a 0.2 in freshness. I would say now I'm at like I will give it a 3. I'm at 3.5, heading towards 4, but I'm 2 weeks out for a race. I think I mentioned also that I decided to go with the 50K because it is some challenge, but then it will keep me safe as it regards to the New York City Marathon. Because what is going to happen is that at this juncture, I'm bringing down my mileage in hopes of a successful ultra, and success means just completion. I mean, as one author stated, most of us are not Olympians. We want to do our personal best, and this is my first ultra, so I have to set that bar of what a personal best looks like and will look like. So I'm fine with whatever as long as I finish. I have 10 hours to finish 31-ish miles, so here's hoping that I perform well. I feel confident, and I realized that in my running season, I had instances where I had nothing left to give, and I now realize that that had more to do with the fact that my body was not adapting to the cold as well as it should have, which was causing the excessive fatigue. So being that the fatigue is removing itself little by little, the stronger I feel, the more confident I feel. Again, the goal is just to have fun, afterwards some vacation time, some time with the family, and then onward to prep for the New York City Marathon. Again, I no PRs yet because these are my first measurements in distance running. So the idea is to happy, healthy running. Nothing excessive. I mean, I am not going to be in the top 1% getting the big award and the Nike endorsement. So, I mean, I have nothing to prove other than I love running. To me, it symbolized the greatness of this body that God has made. When you run, and, you know, for me, in the context of my worldview as a Christian, it's like, it's an opportunity to talk to God. Sometimes I feel so fatigued. I just like, Lord, help me get through this. Other times, it's just amazing how seamless the process is. And I'm like, wow, this is how God designed the body to work. As your mind, everything working cohesively towards the goal. Really phenomenal feeling. So that's why I like running. Besides that, I think it's really fun. And so I think that's it as far as 2 weeks from now. I saw the email today and I'm like, okay, we're doing this. So see how it goes. And that's just a quick update. This week again was 59 miles. I'm on Strava and I have not posted any of my runs this week. And the reason why is because I have so much going on. Is that I feel bad that I'm not able to like other people's runs, and I feel like it's not fair to post my runs and have people like my runs and comment on my runs and I can't comment back, or I'm looking like I'm dismissive or not responding. So I figure I would just go ahead and just like not post because of everything that I have going on in regular life, and I'll probably post them today or Sunday. I'm not sure yet. I'm actually on call for work. Today is a 6.1 mile run, 59 for the week. I met my minimum goal of 4,000 feet elevation. I'm at 4,400. I figure for race day, I want to have ran at least 2,000 elevation. Now the reason why I have set my goal for 4,000 to 5,000 elevation is because that is the elevation I have performed all my half marathons at safely. 54 miles base, even on race week, and 4,000 elevation. So they talk about peaking, and I like Greg McMillan. His rather than taper, he calls it peaking. And with tapering and peaking, it's really nice because you're looking for the science. You're looking for that perfect space where you are allowing your body to recover but maintain its freshness. Because if you peak too much, what will happen is you'll be slowful on race day. If you taper too much, then if you taper too much, can't remember, but either way, there are two extremes, and the goal is not to be on either extreme. I'm sorry, if you taper too much, then you will feel slothful, and if you do it too little, then what occurs is that you will feel fatigue, and that's what they're talking. Physiologists are those that are knowledgeable in running, the scientists, they state that you can mess with your VO2 max when you do a lot of your training runs at speed distances. So I guess when you're peaking or tapering, whichever term you want to use, you're kind of like, make sure you have that freshness of your speed runs, but at the same time you have that rest, that freshness that comes from not running as much and as long and so forth. So yeah, and that is what, I don't know why that was so hard to get out, but it was. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to focus on freshness, because right now that's my greatest obstacle. Again, I feel I am improving. I'm not sure if I will have improved enough for the race, but I'm not concerned about that, because at the end of the day, I'm running to have fun. I'm running to say, hey, you know, I've completed my first ultra, and so I look forward to whatever happens, and that is it. Maybe when I get like more people or subscribers or something, we can have a conversation about this. And I would like to hear, like, if you are a person of faith, like how you integrate running. Sometimes I find it highly competitive, and I'm not a competitive person. The reason why is because I'm an introspective person. I'm thinking inwardly about what I'm trying to achieve, and I think there's pros and cons to running in groups, and one of them is that competitiveness. However, I find that some Christians are just as competitive as well, but I feel like I don't have to prove anything. You know, I'm clearly not an Olympian runner. I love to run, I'm decent at it, and that's just it. You know, we're running in a group, let's run and have fun. The minute it's not fun, I don't want to do it, because if we're in a team, that means we're all working towards the same goal, not against each other. So that is all. Bye.